If you have data that you would like to map in ITMS, you can use an Excel spreadsheet to map it. You'll need a template. The template's under the ITMS link. Down at the bottom will be the latest template. Click the unzip link, save it to your computer or save it to the network, and then it will give you a zip file that has 2 Excel files in it. I'll go ahead and just open it because I've already saved it. There's a template for mapping by GPS coordinates, lat long, and then there's a template for mapping your standard county route and mile point. I'll give you an example of each. First I'll launch ITMS to have it open. Here is the template to map by county route and mile point. There are certain fields that are required and they're already named. County, route type. The route type gives you a list. The county gives you a drop down list. The route number you'll type in. The auxiliary, if you notice up at the top, a lot of them have little messages you can read, such as the route auxiliary will default to mainline if you do not enter any other value. So most of the time you can leave the route auxiliary blank. The route direction, typically you don't need to use that. You notice it does say, however, if your data doesn't map, then try entering a direction. So in this case I'm in mapping US 1 in Richland County. If it were not to map for some reason, and I feel like it should, then try and enter a north or a south, N or an S. Most of the time you can leave it blank though. The route LRS is a calculated field. You can't change it. It'll give you a message. And then your beginning and ending mile points. The color is a drop down. Pick your color. The RGB value is a calculated field based on the color that you select. The weight is how thick do you want the line to be, or the dot. You can enter a beginning and ending mile point of the same number, and then it will put the dot like it does if you're mapping a bridge. And then a tooltip, scroll over a little bit more. The tooltip is any information you want the user to see when they hover over this particular section of road. Offset is if you want to offset off of the road, maybe 1,000 foot off the edge of the road, you can put in a value of 1,000. And then a label, best way to explain that is to actually just show you. In this case I put, this is my label. And you can actually have additional columns beyond here that you would like to keep track of. There are requirements on how to label those columns. The columns must start with a letter and can contain only letters, numbers, and underscore values. But you can have as many as you want to with your own data, and it will actually be available within ITMS. So I'll just map this example template that I filled out one record for. To do that, go to the Reports tab, go to Map Your Own File, and then just browse for the file. So here's the file. Whenever you map, especially if you have maybe 100 records or more, it's hard to see if all of them map, so it will actually give you a report telling you whether all of them mapped. If they didn't map and you really feel like it's good data, again, the best thing to try is to enter a direction. You know, the odd numbered routes run north-south, the even numbered routes run east-west. So in this case, since there's only one record, it did map, all my data mapped. Here's the tooltip we talked about, and it's really small, but you see it says this is my route, this is my label. That's the label that will show up above each route that you put in a value in the label field. Simple enough. I'll map another one. This is one that was done as an example showing all the, or a good bit of the guardrail in Beaufort. So again, we use the standard county route mile point, pick the color, pick the tooltip, which I'm not sure what that tooltip means. Hopefully it means something to the maintenance people in Beaufort. And then here's some additional data. This data is not used to map, but it's in the spreadsheet and will actually show if the user clicks on it. So I'll map that. was a good many records, so we may get back a report saying some of them did not map. It's taking a while to process. Must have been a lot of records. There it comes. Okay, so a bunch of little records. ITMS was slow there. But anyway, 3 of them did not map. Well, actually, 2 of them did not map. This middle one segment was truncated due to invalid milepoints. So we tried to map from 12.36 to 12.51, and maybe the route ended at 12.50, so it truncated it. So it did map this number 2. It did not map the first and the third one, invalid milepoints. It could be that it's supposed to be on US 17 instead of US 17 alternate. No telling, that's where you have to do some research to figure out why it did not map. But here's all our guardrail, and as I was saying, you can actually click on any section and it'll show you all the records within that spreadsheet. Even if, of course, it only used the first 6 or 7 to map. Alright, the last example is by GPS coordinates. Here's an example of some location of asphalt plants around the state, and they were put in by lat long. You have to put it in degrees, minutes, and seconds format. This is really this value, the lat long and the weight and the color is the only thing it uses. And of course it's going to be dots. So we will map that. It's a little unlikely that your lat long values will not map. They probably exist somewhere on the planet, and it did. All the data was mapped. And there's your tooltip. Not too hard. Again, the templates are under the ITMS page. Click unzip, save the zip file to your network drive, and then you'll have both templates you can use.